50 odd years doing it the exact opposite way around, i.e. fearing a whole lot more and living out a whole lot less. And it got me into a spot of bother. As you'll find out as we go along. Everything that Denise said earlier, I was going tick, 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 tick. You know, I can't, I won't, etc., etc. And in just briefly detouring, when she said, has anybody ever visualised anything? I was like, hell yes. 2015, I decided that in 2017 I was going to go to India. I had no job, no money, no business, no nothing. You'll find out why in a little while. But suddenly I realised that I'd never been to this place that I'd always said I wanted to go to. And I started telling anybody and everybody that in 2017 I was going to go to India. To the degree that, whether they wanted to listen or not, much like Denise said, they were like, oh, shut up! But all these little signs kept appearing. Postcards from a friend that she sent me in 1983 magically appeared. They'd been there all the years. When I moved house, I opened a box and they were looking at me. Whoa, a sign! Luggage labels falling out of Christmas crackers. Whoa, a sign! I did a radio interview with a lady in Nova Scotia, online, Susan Ball, who I will meet actually finally in London in November when I go to the Keynote Forum there. Offline, she said to me, have you got any goals you want to do? And I said, yeah, I want to go to India in 2017. 15 months later, she emailed me and said, do you still want to go to India? And by this time, everybody in my life was bored brainless, and I just went, yes, boom, sent it. Didn't read the email, didn't check what it was. It was an invitation to go and speak in Delhi at the Women's Economic Forum. And I said, yes. And I still had no job, no money, no business. And I'm like, what am I going to do now, Yogi? A very long story short, I did indeed go to the Women's Economic Forum. I've now been 3 times. I managed to manifest everything. I wrote, they asked me to write a parallel. I did. They adopted it. I didn't have to pay my conference fees. Boom. I put my flight alert on search on Skyscanner and got it for half the price that it had originally set off at. Boom. Because I did that, I met an Indian friend who was also staying in Delhi, and she said, I don't know how many people have got Indian friends who are like this, but my Indian friend went, we are going to West, you will sleep with me. And I went, if you don't mind, I'll just share a room. All things being equal. But nevertheless, we shared a room, and I only paid half price. My flight was delayed coming back from Delhi, which meant I was 10 hours late getting to my front door. KLM refunded me in excess of £200 that the whole trip had cost me. So a manifestation that took 2 years to gain, started off as a pipe dream. I had no job, no money, no business, don't forget. I went to India, made some amazing friends, started a business as a result of going to India. I thought, I really want to do something. I think I've got a business if I start one. And the universe paid me for going. Boom! If you didn't think she was talking any sense, wait till you hear this one. Right, seriously, visualize it. Tell anybody and everybody that will listen, and I promise you it does happen. 100%, mate, 100%. This is me. 28th of April, 2017. This woman was fearless. Don't get me wrong, tarantula walks across that table now and be on my toes. For me, fearless is not about focus, it's a different thing. This woman, as she tipped over the edge, not mentally, but off the aeroplane. More of that later. As she tipped over the edge, this woman screaming, fearless! I have loads of friends who know full well that I have another F word in my life, which is Latin, and nobody believes that I was shouting fearless. They all thought I was shouting the Latin, and I promise you I wasn't. I was so excited. I'm sat on the edge of that little aeroplane, which is like a tube with propellers and everything. I decided I was going to do it 6 months prior to prove to myself, because by that point I only needed to prove to myself that I didn't have my one remaining fear, that of heights. I booked that flight 6 months in advance and spent 6 months going, I can do this, and visualising it. I dress rehearsed it in my head. I was up at 3 o'clock on that morning, couldn't wait to get to the airport, got there, sat down on the edge of that plane. The only thing I was scared of at that point, because I got 16,000 feet of empty space whizzing between my knees, and a 6'4" Swedish instructor on my back, completely parachute, what could I possibly be afraid of? I looked down, I got very expensive ski slip-on shoes on that I forgot to change. My only worry at that point in time was the fact that I might have to drive on barefoot if they flew off. They didn't. The skiers survived, but this person who went over the edge, screeching fearless, very quickly was uttering the Latin alternative. It went from that to that. No parachute. Clearly there was a parachute, you just not. Alright? And no one thing is I come to call it. They pull a cord that the weight goes up and it balances you out. There's a really good picture of me somewhere on Facebook going like that. People think I'm smiling, I'm not, it's G-force. I couldn't do anything about it, but at that point, ladies and gents, my excitement really did flip and became fear. The only thing that had changed was my perception. Because at that point there was no parachute, and I was doing a really good impression of Superman. Well, I'm pretty sure Superman didn't swear as much as I did. But as I'm going down to earth at 120 miles per second, suddenly I'm back in my doctor's office. 26th of September 2012. I'm sat in a room opposite my GP. I've gone through the longest time of repeated blood tests, increasingly poor, and increasingly I'm becoming more ill. And I sat down opposite her, picture this if you will, I was 5'1" and a nat. Alright, I've not shrunk or grown in the last 7 years, but I was 7 stone heavier than I am now. I was on 17 different prescriptions, totaling 44 different pills and potions every single day for various ailments that come with being morbidly obese. And yet I used to say things like, I'm not fat, I'm just short for my weight. The story I told myself, I became very, very adept at telling myself the story that fit, the affirmations. She looked at me, she looked at the screen, she picked the phone up and I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm phoning for an ambulance. And I was like, really? Who for? Boom. I can be incredibly dense at times. And she said, you're in big trouble, your liver's failing, you need to go to hospital, you need to go now. We had a bit of a discussion and I won and I went home because I'm an idiot. I packed a bag and I cleaned the fridge out, cleaned the bath. You know, like you do when you go on holiday, you clean the house in case the burglars break in. This woman's just told me my liver's failing and I go home and clean the house. I do have OCD, but on a good day these days, I embrace it. My house is super tidy. In addition to all the medication, I developed a habit. Turns out it's a very expensive habit in more ways than one. I nearly didn't go to my GP that day, because by 9:30 that morning, I was already halfway down my second bottle of wine for the day. I had 5 a day, we all have 5 a day, right? Now 10 days, isn't it? Veg, fruit and stuff like that. I had 5 a day. And in this brain of mine, I counted. Because wine's made from grapes, right? The stories we tell ourselves. 5 bottles of wine per day, every day, for a very long time. It wasn't always like that. I grew up in an atypical Yorkshire working class family, eldest of 4 children. I had what I now term to be a traumatic childhood. This is not about my past, nor is it about blame, because the person I blamed for everything, growing up with a child, through a childhood of mental health into adulthood of mental health, which then subsequently developed into near fatal alcoholism, that person had been dead for 14 years when I was admitted to hospital. And more importantly, she was teetotal. Don't forget. the root cause of all my woes actually wasn't. And yet, I was still telling myself that everything and anything that had gone wrong in my life up to that point, because at that point I was 52 years old, wasn't my fault. I was admitted to hospital as an emergency. That was actually about 5 years before I was admitted to hospital. And I got a lot worse. I was very definitely bright yellow. Convinced myself and everybody else I had a suntan. Go figure. Don't ever underestimate the words you use to describe yourself or speak about yourself. Do not ever underestimate them, because you are listening. There is only you inside your head when you wake up in the morning. There is only you inside your head when you go to sleep at night.
That's true.
You are the only person who was there on the day you were born, who will be there on the day you die, unless you're very unfortunate and die very young. You're your own best friends, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever forget that. And if you ever catch yourself saying, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, I mustn't, I couldn't, you need some positive affirmations. Seriously, much like I did. I was admitted to an emergency room. I do not remember the first 5 days. My husband says I was never unconscious, but I'd just gone into catatonic shock. Everybody would now know I'm an alcoholic. Hell no, go figure. There wasn't anybody in Sheffield except me who didn't, except I always did, really. I was catheterised. I used to like carrot and coriander soup. That, I couldn't find a picture of a catheter bag with carrot and coriander soup in it, to be fair. That was the nearest I could come. But my body was completely, utterly, totally toxic. My mind was toxic, which caused the physicalities to manifest themselves as a mirror image of what was going on in my head. And when I saw the absolute rubbish that was pouring out of my body, I knew I was in big trouble. End stage liver failure. End stage kidney failure. Cholesterol through the roof, and God knows how many other ailments. And 5 days later, came around enough, my consultant come to see me, and he said to me, I would love to tell you you're going home soon, but you're a very sick woman. And I laughed, I actually laughed, and I said, I'll take that. What's 52? I'll take young. Ding! When you talk to yourself, you're not listening now, Susan. You're not even listening. This man's trying to tell you something. What he said was, you won the battle. You're not going home. You need to tell your family to prepare for the worst. And I remember going, I haven't got any time. I haven't got any time. And he said, did you just hear what I said? I just told you you're dying. And I, yeah, did you not hear what I said? I haven't got any time. He left. He stood up and he left very shortly after that. He arrived late to deliver his verdict. My daughter, the youngest of our 2 daughters, arrived early to visit me. It wasn't a secret why I was there, only in my own mind. She arrived, she saw us crying, asked her dad what had happened, and he told her that despite surviving, I was going to die. My daughter let out the most guttural scream I've ever heard, like an animal caught in a trap. She held my gaze for the longest of times, except it was probably just like that. In this head, it was a very long time. In her eyes, I saw anger and hatred, fear for sure, but most of all, I saw love. I saw love in the eyes of a daughter who I knew in that split second hated me, but she loved me nevertheless at a time when I didn't even like myself, let alone love myself. In that split second, I suddenly had a why that was bigger than anything that had gone before. Because I'd never seen what was under my nose. How many of us don't see what's under our noses? The answers you seek are in plain sight. It doesn't matter what your answers are that you're looking for. They are under your nose when you are open to the possibility that anything is possible. It's only possible if you become the the captain of your ship. I'd long since given up control of my mind, because it was easy for me to blame somebody else for everything. And whilst a certain element of that was true, by the time I became a grown-up, in inverted commas, I lost the plot altogether. I was so far down the road of blame. I haven't got any time. Time! 86,000 seconds or thereabouts in every single day. If I gave you £86,000 today, my friend, and said, you need to spend this wisely by tomorrow, or I'm going to come back and take it off you, would you give me it back? You spend it. Hellfire, so would I. Every single day, we all of us have 86,400 seconds, in actual fact, to spend wisely. In all honesty, how many of us can say we spend the majority of them in a way that we would consider wisely for ourselves? I'm not talking about the wider world or our bosses or our clients, for us. How many of you have a schedule in your diary, in your appointments, in your calendar, whatever you call it, an appointment with you each and every day? I do, now. But it took me, I subsequently found out, being 24 hours away from dying. If I had not gone to my GP the day that I did, 24 hours later I would have been dead. Bingo. Checked out. Done it. I wouldn't have got a receipt at the till, I'd have just done. No time. If you tell yourself you haven't got time to do A, B, C, D, E, I'm going to call you a liar. We've all got time. If you put a monetary value on every second of your day and you had to give it back to somebody at the end of the day, you would damn well find a way to make it work. Hashtag make it happen. You would. Without exception. Why? Because unless you are suicidal, you don't want to check out. Not before you've finished doing what you do. Procrastination is the thief of time, my friends, but it also leaves a great big massive gift of regret if we're not careful. I didn't have time to do all the things that I ever wanted to do. Some of those I still haven't. There's the picture, G-force. I was going to do that skydive regardless of anything because I'd said I always would. My family thought I'd lost the plot again. My husband came with me just to make sure. I think he was making sure I wasn't going to die. Maybe he was making sure he was going to check it. Maybe he was making sure he was going to check the life insurance when he finished. I didn't do it right. I got it wrong. I got it so wrong that it nearly killed me. But it wasn't a traumatic childhood. It was me. I did that all on my own. Paradigm shift. We all know what paradigm shift. Do we all know what paradigm shift is? For those of you that don't, paradigm shift is when the world that you know it, the world as you know it, shifts on its axis. It turns and nothing ever seems the same again. Diana's death caused a massive paradigm shift. No one's been insulting gentlemen, but with men across the world suddenly realised what emotional intelligence was. Because some random princess had died. I don't know how many of you were alive even then, but if you remember the footage, you'll understand what I'm talking about. My paradigm shift came in the eyes of my daughter. My paradigm shift didn't actually come when the GP admitted me to hospital. It didn't even come when the consultant told me I was going to die. It came in the eyes of my daughter because I then understood properly, for the first time, just how much I'd got to lose. Don't get me wrong. I'm normal, hashtag only human after all. That self-same daughter still lives with me today and I can kill her at least 3 times a day. Because we are human, and I am not standing here telling you I'm perfect. I'm not. When we do not look after ourselves on the level that we need to, mentally, let alone physically, we're on a hiding to nothing. it's paramount that if you are not already doing it, that you pencil yourselves in to your schedule every single day. I don't care if you have to go and lock the bathroom and stay inside it with music blaring in your ears loud enough so you can't hear the kids banging on the door outside. Make it happen. The risks that you take by not making it happen are not worth risking. How many smokers do we know that smoke and never develop lung cancer, but they're willing to take that risk until somebody they know suddenly dies from lung cancer? I knew people who had died as a result of their alcoholism. I was chancing my arm, and I'm very nearly lost. Whose fault was that? Mine. Very early on in my recovery, it took 7 weeks for me to go home. By that time, I was seriously chemically detoxed. I've got the vaguest of memories of being stark naked. Trust me, it's not a pretty sight now. According to my 8-year-old granddaughter, it's not a pretty sight. You do realise you've got floppy boobies, a wrinkly tummy and a saggy bum, no you're not. Go away. She's 8, she's entitled to tell me the truth. Not a pretty sight now. But it's 7.5 stone heavier, sweating, shakes, DTs, nothing on. And I mean absolutely stark naked with a temperature of 110 on dangerous stroking out. And they can't let me get warm. I've got 4 fans blowing from either corner of the bed, trying to keep me cool. When I woke up and the toxic rubbish was coming out of my body into the catheter bag, I was on the road to recovery. By the time I got home 7 weeks later, I was nearer to recovery. I still have a cirrhotic liver, stage 3 kidney disease, and a shed load of other stuff that I won't bore you with. But you know what? Every single day I understand now it's a blessing. I don't care if my days are good, bad, or indifferent. I do in the moment. Clearly, if something goes wrong, then I get very intensely upset sometimes. But I now have the skill set because I've worked on myself hard enough, long enough to bring that down, to bring it down in a positive way. I can't do this. If I do this, then. Yes, but, if, but, maybe, so what, should, couldn't, can't, whoa. I wish I could erase all these words. It used to be from a dictionary. I did that once in school. When I went in schools with kids, I literally had the kids in the class that I was mentoring get their dictionaries and cut all those bad words out of the dictionary. I let them leave the F word in, and the illegitimate word in, and all sorts of things that are bad words, and I literally had them cut out everything that I deemed to be a bad word. If you are ever starting your sentences with I can't do this because, if I said this then she, who gives a monkey's uncle? Your life, my friends. One life, no return, no deposit. Sanity, not vanity, is my definition of taking care of yourselves. Without exception. It's not vanity, it's not selfish, it's sanity. And for me, sanity means just this. It means you're being sensible. You are accepting of the fact that your needs are equally, if not more important, than those around you. And you have to trust yourself in this process because you are your own best friend. If you cannot trust yourself to look after yourself, who's going to do it for you? Your other half, possibly, if they're able. Your kids, maybe. If they're still in your life long enough. I'm fortunate. I am a really blessed and fortunate woman. I'm still married to the same man that I met when I was 17. Between us, we have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. 2 of those grandchildren I would never, ever met. I don't care how bad you think your life is. That's not true. I do care how bad you think your life is. What I'm saying to you is, it doesn't matter. Hello? What am I doing? It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to where you say you want to be, only that you do. All right, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to where you want to be, only that you do. It doesn't matter what other people think about you, only what you think about you. It doesn't matter if you think you're not rich enough, pretty enough, clever enough already enough. As long as you understand that this is your life. That's not to mean you're selfish. It's not to mean that you shouldn't care about anybody else. But it is to mean that you realise how important you are. Who's ever been on an aeroplane? What do you do when the oxygen mask drops? You breathe. They make a point of telling you on every single flight, breathe, take the oxygen mask and breathe deeply and keep on breathing. Don't worry about your kids or your husband or your parents or whoever, anybody around you. Don't worry about them. Breathe. If you can't breathe deeply enough to sustain life for yourself, you cannot help anybody else you love. Why would we not? Why would I not use that analogy in my own life, in your own life? Because we think that we've got it all together. A friend of mine has a plaque on her kitchen wall. We may not have it all, but all together, but together we have it all. That's true to a certain extent. Yay! Thank you, Will. Take time every day to make time for you. For me, the first thing I had to do when I came out of hospital was sit still. A bit like a hamster on speed most of the time. But sitting still for me actually wasn't that much of an ask, because I wasn't quite poorly. But in sitting still, and for the first time that I was aware of, just being able to be, hellfire, what a revelation. No TV on. I was never one for TV as such anyway. I don't watch it at all these days. Because I have other things to do that I want to do. It's imperative that you forgive yourselves. As I said a little while ago, whatever's going on in your life, if you're not where you say you want to be, remember two things. Everything is temporary. Everything. Life itself is temporary. The bad mood you're in is temporary. The relationship issues you're in are temporary. Well, I've seen stuff on here that's not on there, which is good. It doesn't matter. Forgive yourself in the process. I forgave my negatives of the past a long time ago. That has no power over me whatsoever anymore. Because I now understand that none of us know everything. None of us. We have to forgive ourselves for what we didn't know we didn't know. If you don't know something, you don't know that you don't know it, how the hell can you put it right? Hindsight is a wonderful thing. But becoming more self-aware is essential. If you have anybody to forgive for anything, look inside. Look inside, because whatever that is that you think you have to forgive that person for, there will be a little piece of knowledge that's missing somewhere. And you don't know something about them, or they don't know something about you. And in that process of self-discovery, therein lies a growth. The process of forgiveness begins and ends with you. The process of acceptance begins and ends with you. Everything begins and ends with you. UT wanted to pay £4.99 an hour, apparently.
Forgive them.
Forgive them, I've forgiven them. CEO, Steve Jobs, one of the most famous CEOs ever, came to understand all too soon how fragile life was for him. Come back again with whatever that is. Steve Jobs sadly passed away. However, he lost Apple before he got it back. He eventually got to where he wanted to be, and I don't think he passed it on, obviously. But he worked long and hard to do that. He wasn't derailed by the obsessions about other people. He was empowered by the obsession to regain what he thought was rightfully his. Does that make sense? For me,
Can't begin.
for me, CEO doesn't mean Chief Executive Officer. When we apply it to our own lives, for me, it means we're the creator, the empowerer, and the organizer of our lives. And if in being those three things for ourselves, that means we can pay that forward to others, family, friends, employees, employers, that's a bonus. That is one hell of a bonus. You are in charge. You are the captain of your ship. You, technically, you're your own Steve Jobs. How creative was he? How many people did he empower and organize me to be able to do all of the above? I suspect that he had a very, very strong sense of self. I didn't have a strong sense of self for so long. When I was 5, I knew how to play. When I was 5, I knew how to play, but I learned how to sit. When I was 5, I knew how to be happy, but I learned how to be sad. When I was 5, I certainly knew how to misbehave, but I learned to sit still. When I was 52, I knew how to be sad, but I relearned how to be happy. When I was 52, I knew how to sit, but I learned how to play. When I was 52, I knew how to be so good. I learned how to be good again. That was wonderful. But the point is, everything in our lives is a learned behaviour. We are our own great